Hello and welcome back to another brand new episode of Audio Inside Scoop. Today we have a brand new JBL Charge 6 and the last generation JBL Charge 5. We're gonna see what amazing new things have come to this new iteration, discuss kind of what's the same and what's changed, and try to help you determine if you're gonna wanna upgrade if you have one already, or if you don't have either model, if it's worth buying new versus saving a few bucks and buying the old. Just like last episode with the Flip 6 and 7, we're gonna jump right into the compares instead of doing a separate unboxing and spec video. We're not gonna waste any more time on an intro though. Let's go ahead and get these guys out of the box and we will see what we're working with. Now I actually had to buy another 5 as well because the one from our earlier video had been given away. I actually kind of love this though because it'll show the unboxing side by side and we can unbox them together. First off, we are going to have our accessories box. When we open up our accessories box, we're gonna have our quick start guide, next, we're gonna have our safety instructions and warranty card. Go ahead and put that back in here. And then we also have our included USB cable. You'll notice that it seems JBL is doing away with the included charging cable in this new generation. Charge 6. We're gonna have our strap, which I'll get to in a moment. Now, last but not least, we are going to have our JBL Charge. Now here they are, both are out of the box and side by side. Now let's go ahead and get price out of the way first and foremost because I know that's on a lot of you guys' minds and because MSRP has actually seen an increase with this new generation. We are looking at $199.95 USD MSRP on the Charge 6 over the Charge 5's MSRP of $179.95. Additionally, I'm seeing the 5 on sale at the time of making this video for as low as $119.95. So price may very well play a giant factor between these two. Now let's also get size out of the way. The Charge 5 is 8.7 inches by 3.76 inches by 3.67 inches. And the Charge 6 is 9 inches by 3.9 inches by 3.7 inches. Now as for weight, we are looking about a 42% increase in weight. We have 2.11 pounds in the 5 versus 3 pounds in the 6. So while it is a fairly small increase in all dimensions, it is a fairly significant increase in the weight. Now to handle that additional weight, they have added the handle. You guys see what I did there? The handle is designed to be used as a full handle or as a partial kind of loopy handle thing. I'm gonna cut away and show you how it works here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna insert this portion through the strap holster and then we're gonna put it down on here. So we go down like so. And it's in. Down like so. And it is in. Feels pretty sturdy. This feels a little weird though. I'm not sure how I feel about it. And we also have the option, if we want, we can change that to a single loop like this. And how we're gonna do that is we put both loops together like so. We're gonna put both through there. Then we are gonna wrap both around this loop. So you can do one at a time or you can do them both at the same if you can. And then there you have the loop option, if you want to go that route. You can also completely remove it. Now, I personally think it would be great if we had the seatbelt style strap that we just got in the new Flip, but instead we have this. It is still awesome that you have a handle, but this does feel a little bit more fragile and a little bit more clunky. I also feel like it would kind of be great for any future accessories to make them interchangeable between the product lines. That said, I can hold this in my hand pretty well, so who knows if I'm actually going to use the strap anyways. Let me know in the comments below if you guys dig the new handle or if it's just going to end up in your junk drawer at home somewhere. Next, let's talk colors. We have seen a refresh in the color options available with white, black, blue, red, purple, and camo. On the 5, you had red, gray, blue, green, teal, camo, and black. I do like the new color options available, but we do see one less color option to choose from. And we also see the option to customize has been removed in the latest gen, which is unfortunate because I was still kind of hoping to make an inside scoop speaker, but we'll see if I can get that accomplished before the 5s are all gone away. While at first glance they look very similar, when we start looking closer we will notice a few subtle changes. On the side we have a bit of a change in the little nub thingies here that kind of protect the passive radiators. JBL claims to have upgraded the durability on this generation, making it quote drop proof up to 1 meter, which is definitely welcome, but the 5 was already a beast though, so I'm not sure what kind of hell you guys plan on putting these through, but your odds of speaker survival has slightly increased with the new generation. On the bottom, we will notice that the pad grip has been changed as well. Instead of the slotted rubber on the previous gen, which could kind of rub off and peel off at times, we do see this new 2-piece wider footprint design. I feel like this gives it a deeper stance and it feels more sturdy on the table. The old design helped prevent unintended movement and walking with higher music levels, but the new design seems to help make it a bit more tip-proof. We're also going to notice that our controls are a bit different when we look up top. We still have a 6-button design, but we have moved from a single long row to a 2 centered shorter rows of buttons. Our Party Boost button has also been removed and we see the Auracast button has taken its place. Now, I have some thoughts on that Auracast change, but we're going to get more into that later. Now, as for battery, the Charge 5 offers a 20-hour battery, while the 6 gives you a kinda 28-hour battery. And I say kinda because it's really 24 hours of regular use with the option of 28 hours if you enable the Playtime Boost option in the app. Basically what you're doing here though is you're cutting off your low frequencies to kind of preserve power. We've seen this in other speakers, including the brand new Flip 7, and let's kind of be real here, it does not sound great. I'd take the lower playback time over the loss of sound quality any day, so me it's really going to be 20 hours versus 24 hours, but it's just like anything else. The time is going to vary based on use case, so you'll get quite a bit more time out of any speaker if you EQ out a lot of the lows and lower your volume, but who really wants to do that? Especially when you have quick charge options available in the new speaker. In addition to the longer battery life, we do have a quick charge which gives you 150 minutes of playback after just 10 minutes of charging. So if you're starting to run low and have access to power, reach for the charging cable for a few minutes instead of flipping on Playtime Boost and your ears will greatly thank you. The 5 unfortunately doesn't have a quick charge feature, but it will get you back up to a full charge in just 4 hours. So pretty great there as well. As for connectivity, we are seeing the expected update in Bluetooth chipset with the older gen rocking 5.1, new gen jumping to Bluetooth 5.4. While most of you guys aren't going to notice a difference, what you're really getting out of the newer iteration of Bluetooth is increased battery life, less interference, enhanced security, and a better overall quality of the connection. Additionally, in the connectivity category, we are getting Auracast, which I mentioned earlier. We're getting Auracast in the new generation. I said more on this later, so here are my thoughts. I was really excited about this being released into all of the new speakers, but so far I've been let down super hard. When reading about Auracast before its release, before its implementation, I thought we were going to see a mass of speakers that could work together. I could throw a speaker in cast mode and connect not just my JBL with my JBL, maybe my Marshall with my JBL, or any other supported Auracast speaker. As these new speakers are releasing though, what I'm finding is that not only do they limit the connection to connect with the same brand and the same technology, we're also seeing that these broadcast functions are breaking the ability for old speakers to work with new speakers. The version 5 can still function with other 5s and with previous generations and other Party Boost speakers, but when in the app, JBL makes you actually choose between Party Boost and Auracast. So you can't use these guys together. Huge disappointment. You can't connect the 5 with the 6 and have them as a stereo pair. You can't do it as a multi-broadcast mode. It has unfortunately been broken with the new technology rolling out. Another upgrade we're seeing is the implementation of USB-C over USB-A for charging. In the 5, we have USB-C to charge the device itself, but when you wanted to charge something else, you had a USB-A out. Now we're seeing a single multifunction port for charging, as well as reverse charging out. And when I say multifunction port, it doesn't just end at charging. The new gens, this port also functions for lossless audio over USB connection. Now, on this size and type of speaker, is lossless audio really necessary? Will we notice a huge sound difference? Probably not. Honestly, probably not. At least not much in a portable like this, but it is pretty cool that they're bringing back the wired connection option, which we haven't really seen in a while. The only other portable in this tier, aside from the Flip offering this right now that I'm aware of, is the 2024 Beats Pill, which also provides audio over USB, as well as the lossless audio. Next, we've actually seen an increase in waterproofing as well. We have moved away from IP67, which is pretty much what we see in most speakers in this category, and moved to an IP68 rating. This is keeping the dust proofing the same, giving it sand, dust, and dirt coverage, but upping the water resistance. IP67 gives you protection for half a meter up to 30 minutes. IP68 takes this to the next level, allowing submersion of up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. Next, what has JBL changed in the sound department? First off, right up top, right out of the gates on the website, the first thing we see is AI Sound Boost. They say that this is gonna analyze your music in real time to deliver maximum acoustic performance with less distortion. I'm genuinely not sure if this is a gimmick or if it's actually gonna help, but we will see when we go to listen. Or not, maybe. I don't know if I'll be able to tell the difference or not, to be quite honest. I wish there was like a way to toggle it on and off so we can actually see if it's doing anything, but we're just gonna kind of have to trust JBL on this, that it is better, I suppose. As for the drivers, it does seem like we're using the same 20mm tweeter, but we have seen a super slight increase on the size of the woofer. We have a 52 by 90mm woofer in the Gen 5 and a 53 by 93 woofer in the Gen 6. As for power, in the Gen 5 we had 10 watts to the tweeter and 30 watts to the woofer, giving you a max output of 40 watts. On the Gen 6 we show the same 10 watts to the tweeter and 30 watts to the woofer, but we're showing a max output of 45 watts. The math here doesn't quite math, but I assume what we're looking at is one of a few different things. Thing one, maybe we have more headroom in the amp, which is great. Headroom is always a positive thing, and I would expect to see a sweet spot at a higher level than we had in the previous generation, as we're not capping out the amp at higher volumes. Thing two, possibly this is allowing for that AI sound boost to kind of do its thing and feed some extra power where needed, as it determines it needs it. So maybe that's the option. If it needs to boost in certain areas, it'll give it that ability. Maybe also we're just looking at a typo and it is 35 watts dedicated to the woofer instead of 30. Only the engineers really know, so I don't know. Those are my 3 assumptions of why that discrepancy is there, but my hope is that it's headroom. All of that said, basically what we're doing is we are getting the ability to dig a little bit deeper in the low frequencies on the new generation. The earlier generation Charge 5 came in at 60 Hz to 20 kHz. The new generation Charge 6 is showing 56 kHz to 20 kHz. One last thing I'm going to note in the sound department is the adjustments you can make in the app. The Gen 5 had a 3-band custom EQ, which is great. I love the option to customize your listening experience. Gen 6 takes it to the next level though. In this new gen we see an addition of a few preset EQs, and then we see the custom option, which now gives you a 7-band custom EQ over the 3-band in the previous generation, so even more customizable. Now, I have talked a ton here and I haven't actually had the chance to listen or to do any of my own tests with these guys, so it's time to see if what we see on paper holds up to what we see in the real world. I'll be back in just a moment and we'll give you an overall breakdown on old versus new and kind of help you guys determine which one's best for you. See you soon. Okay, for you guys, so it has been just a couple seconds, but for me it's been a few days now and I am back. Let's go ahead and start with this room and the meter. Here they are side by side, kind of doing their thing. Full volume with pink noise. As you can see, we have a slight boost in the new gen in overall output with this test. Next, let's go ahead and get our water tests out of the way. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, we aren't necessarily testing for waterproofing here. This is one of our biggest names in Bluetooth speakers, and with names like JBL, Marshall, Klipsch, and so forth, I trust that these things have been put through the ringer and a bit of water likely isn't gonna kill them. Basically what I'm looking for is, first off, does it float? Which The charges, they actually do. We see in the Flip 7 that they drop straight and they sink straight down into the water, but the charges actually do float. When you chuck them in the water, they actually stay above water. When you push them underwater, they actually come back to the top. So if you're looking for something to take on the boat with you or something to bring out to the lake, the charges actually do float. So there's significantly less of a risk than a lot of speakers out there of sinking to the bottom of the lake and you never having the ability to retrieve them again. So I love that both of these guys float. One thing that I noticed difference between the 5 and the 6 is that the 5, it did not have the ability to keep those drivers up. The 6, however, if I gave it a little help, it would stay facing up and you'd be able to consistently listen to the music while it was floating. So, Charge 6 has the advantage of it over the 5 in that means, but both of them float. So both of them are far less of a risk if you take them into water spaces with you. Next, what I'm looking for is how does it sound when it comes out of the water? A lot of these speakers absorb the water into the grill and have kind of a blown sound when they're pulled out of the water. Some for up to several minutes after you take them out of the water. JBL does not have this issue. I don't know what they're using internally, but they are probably the best at this, and I hope that they keep it up. Every JBL speaker I have tested sounds immediately great again as soon as you pull it out of the water. Both gens are kind of identical here, no problems at all after pulling them out. This also means that if you use it as a shower speaker, as I often do, it's not going to have issues getting splashed a bit. Now, various rooms, big rooms, small rooms, inside, outside, using it while working on the truck, taking it on four-wheeler rides. After a couple days of playing with these, testing in various scenarios, I'll give my overall opinion and breakdown of why you would go with one over the other in our 4 usual categories of price, lifestyle, connectivity, and sound. Now, if price is your primary concern, the 5 is going to take it here. $20 cheaper at regular price, and even more if you catch it on sale. That is a super easy win for the Charge 5, but price plus features comparison may be what makes the difference here. Is what the new gen offers going to be worth a bit of the extra money well spent? Well, let's see. As for lifestyle, the 6 is going to take it. The 5 has it in size and weight, making it a bit easier to transport, but the 6 has the handle, adding to that ease of carry in its own way. I want to stop here and make a side note here as well that I didn't think that I would like the strap. I didn't think I'd care about the handle, but I did. I found that this speaker is just the right size to be somewhat awkward, and when carrying it around, the strap resolves that to a degree. I also found that I like the small loop a bit better than the big loop. That part may just be me though. The 5 is a bit more customizable with its larger array of color options and its fully custom option for design, but I don't think this was enough to give it the win here. Both are going to be super rugged, but the 6 is just a bit more. Both have great waterproof rating, but again, the 6 is just a bit more. So in this category, the 6 is going to pull ahead a bit. Now let's move on to connectivity, and I'm going to give that one to the 6 as well. We do see an improvement in Bluetooth technology. We do see the addition of Auracast, which I hate that it doesn't have backwards compatibility or functionality with other brands, but it does seem like the direction that we'll see most of these speakers going in the future. And it also puts it in line with the rest of the new gen JBL products. Also, we see the addition of the wired capability, which, all of this said, the 6 is going to take the win here. Lastly, as far as sound, this is a tough one, but I feel like it's the most important, at least to me. And it was actually a lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be. The 6 was a bit louder, but both sweet spots did seem to sit around the 60 to 70% volume mark. Beyond 70 though, we started to see a bit of a drop off in lows on both speakers, but it did feel like the 5 had a bit more of a steep drop off in quality after that mark. While the 6 did start to degrade a bit after that 70% mark, it did hold up a little bit longer and push a little bit harder than the 5. The louderness, I guess, of the 6 actually helped in the four-wheeler ride as well. We got up to about 30 miles per hour before we were completely losing all sound over the motor noise and the wind. High frequencies were very similar as well, as we kind of expected, but with the lows we did see a noticeable dip. The 6 has the ability to dig deeper for sure, and when the volume is up there, it actually gets to the point where you're kind of hearing it as well as feeling it. As for just general overall sound, I would say that I'd prefer the 6 over the 5 about 80% of the time. There were certain tracks and portions of tracks where the 5 would take it, but they didn't come super often. Where the 5 really seemed to shine is it had a little bit more overall clarity in the mid bass, and when listening to certain songs on the 6, it kind of felt like the lows could sometimes drown out the rest of the mix. That said, this is all using the stock JBL profile. With the ability to EQ exactly to our liking, it's going to come down to the fact that the 6 has more overall capabilities than the 5 internally with its hardware. A bit more power, a bit more presence, a bit more oomph. As such, the 6 is going to take the win for sound as well, so outside of price, the 6 just kind of completely runs this show for this compare. So in Synopsis, if you're going for amazing sound and some pretty great savings, the 5 is going to be the one for you. If you have several old party boost speakers and aren't ready to make the jump to Auracast just yet, the 5 is going to be for you. If you're looking for the latest and greatest tech-wise, if you want a boost in sound, a boost in toughness, a boost in getting an additional carrying strap, and don't mind spending a bit more extra to get there, the 6 is going to be your guy. I think that's all I'm going to have for you guys today on the Charge 5 versus Charge 6. If you guys found this informative or entertaining, or if you just like clicking buttons, please hit that like button below. It really does help. Next episode, I'm going to clear the room and dive back into some Here With Me segments and mic up the new flips and charges so you guys can hear them at home. While you're down there clicking the like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well to be the first to know when these new compares are released. It will be very soon, guys. I also plan to dive into some party boxes in the near future. More details on that coming soon, though. Until next time, though, we'll see you again soon for another brand new episode of Audio Inside Scoop.